In the next week, okay, basically you got to look at below normal temperatures. A normal high right now should be 52 and 30. Over the weekend, you'll have moderating temperatures compared to what we have right now. We have the big Arctic high coming down from Canada. You have a ridge out west. You got the big low sitting over New England that's dumping feet of snow in many locations there. And from there, that's pumping the cold air down the southern Appalachians. The northern mountains are having the snow. Here we have a little flurry from time to time. But as we get into next week, there's a system that's going to be coming in from California. And we just got to wait and see where that system is going to go. The model runs are all over. It may take more of a southerly route where you don't end up with much of anything. If it moves a little further to the north, we may be talking snow again on Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. Okay, depending where you are in the county. Now we have our annual snow contest every year with Home Trust Bank and us. This is our 8th year we do it. The numbers are taken up at my location up on Long John Mountain, up on 191. We do it to the nearest tent. So as of today's date, I believe today's the 25th of the month, we had 25.9 inches of snow. The normal 30-year average for Henderson County is 10 to 15. So you could already see we're well above the normal. We're just going to be turning the calendar soon to go into March. Sometimes March could be a very snowy month here in the mountains of North Carolina. The blizzard back in '93 on the 12th through the 14th of March that dropped between 18-20 inches of snow, and then drifts of 3, 5, 6 feet across the county. Some areas lost their power for many days. Other places had nothing but snow, just depending where you are elevation-wise in the county. But those are just an example of the blizzard '93. That's what everybody talks about. But if you look back over the last 50 years, I'm sure there's other ones to be spoken about. Well, the first thing everybody starts talking about El Nino. That's part of the pie, but you got to, El Nino is just part of it. But when you talk to, like when you listen to the news at night, they're talking about El Nino, but that's the only part they speak about. You now remember, for the past year, we've been having no problem with any drought here in Henderson County. We're going over to a southern branch. So when you get the southern branch, that's coming in from the Pacific Ocean, riding across the southern part of the United States, picking up a lot of moisture out of the Gulf, and then bringing it back up northward. At the same time, you got blocking taking place over Greenland this year that we haven't had for a long time. You got a lot of blocking taking place over the poles. And when you get blocking over the poles, warm air is pushed northward, cold air is pushed southward. And that's what we've been seeing. We've had a below normal winter so far for temperatures since December, and that'll probably go right into March. I don't see no changes coming up that your temperatures are going to fluctuate. But the only thing is, as we work into March, your days are getting longer, the sun is up higher, and your mean temperature continues to rise. Hurricane season is going to be a nasty hurricane season this year. Last year, we had a very quiet hurricane season. We had a lot of dust in Africa over when the storms would develop in Africa from the Sahara Desert. So as the storms developed in Africa continent and came across, it would clog these storms up with dust. It's just like your carburetor on your car. If it's clogged up, it doesn't run right. The waters were cold off of Africa, so once the storms came off, they fell apart. So this year you're going to see a lot more moisture in the tropics than last year. You're going to have the waters are much warmer this year. The waters along the United States and going out into the Atlantic and in the Gulf of Mexico will be warmer than what they've been. And you should see a lot more activity coming off of Africa, which should make a lot more hurricane season. Plus you don't have the El Nino. El Nino's gone. Like I said, the possibilities of what happens next week may be something to keep an eye on, but as of right now, the model runs have been completely all over. A week ago or so, they had this place buried over here. Since then, they've had the storm as far south as New Orleans, as far west as going into like Alabama, Mississippi area. This morning, it's been sitting over basically into central and northern Georgia. But you just got to wait and see. The runs continuously change all the time, and it just doesn't have a fix on the storm yet. There's a lot of ifs and buts about exactly what is happening with that storm. But as you run into the month of March, you could have a day of 60, a week of 60, and still end up with a major snow event, which is not out of the question. But will it happen? We'll just have to wait and see.